Hey there, this is Tammy with New Age Fitness. I wanted to create a quick video today as almost kind of like a little testimonial for anybody who might need it right now. Anybody who's been following my page will very likely notice that I've suddenly had this burst of inspiration. I've been kind of flooding Facebook with a lot of stuff, but it's because I am so inspired, and that's what this video is about today. So, quick backstory for anybody who may not know yet. I'm going to keep it quick because a lot of people do know. I started gaining weight when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I was never an athlete. I struggled with my weight my whole life. I didn't like to move. It would make me feel panicky and icky, and I tried to avoid it. And then, but I spent my whole life trying to do better, trying to commit myself to exercise, trying to eat better, trying to lose weight, but I kept gaining more weight. I did all these gimmicky things and none of them worked. At 31 years old, I had postpartum depression. I was a year out from having my son, but I was 274 pounds and I was just miserable. My body hurt and I just felt like I was at death's door. I couldn't focus. It was a bad spot to be in. But I'm thankful because hitting that low point forced me to want to change for reasons other than looking a certain way, which is why I'd done it before then. I needed to feel better just to be able to function, to be a mother, all that. And so that really started me on this journey of wellness. And throughout my 30s, I learned to love exercise. I learned to love healthy food. I set huge goals for myself. I felt wonderful. So by my mid to late 30s, it was the strongest and healthiest and fittest I'd ever felt in my life. And then my mother got sick. And she was sick for a couple of years. And I turned 40 a couple years ago. And then she passed away about a month later. And so that just really messed with my head for reasons I'm sure most people could understand. And I stopped working out hard. I did bare minimum just to get by, to be able to teach classes. I had become a personal trainer, and I have the studio, so I couldn't completely fall off the wagon, thank goodness. But I was able to really BS my way through things. But then coronavirus happened. And while in so many ways it's been a horrible thing, one silver lining for me is that it forced me to have to actually physically teach classes again, because we went to the online version of classes and I couldn't BS my way through it. I couldn't just walk around and check everybody's form. I had to actually do the workouts. And then I realized just what bad shape I was in. I kept injuring myself, but I had to make a decision. If I want to keep teaching these classes, either I'm going to teach like chair yoga and nothing else, or I'm going to have to get into better shape. And just being forced to move was already making me feel better, and that inspired me to move more. So I started doing workouts on my own, and it was kind of this chain series of events that led me to a place where I'm once again enthusiastic about exercise. I used to say all the time, I don't know how I keep forgetting how good exercise makes me feel. Well, that times 1,000, because I don't know how I forgot. It's just, it happens so slowly that, like the frog in boiling water effect, you just don't realize how far you've moved away from it. And what's interesting is the reason I wanted to become a personal trainer and a weight loss coach in the first place is because the trainers I'd gone to when I was trying to lose weight, they were wonderful people. They were amazingly fit, but that was almost part of the problem is I went to a man first and then a woman, because I thought maybe I couldn't connect with the man because he was male. But they were both athletic their whole lives. They both had no problem with getting handed a menu and just eating what was on the menu and nothing else. And the woman, especially who I stayed with longer, she couldn't understand. It's like she tried to give me these little tips, and she tried to help me, but she couldn't understand why she would hand me this menu and say, eat this, and then I would come back and I would have gained a couple of pounds, not eating what she said. And that's what led me to this profession, because I felt like we needed more of me in this profession, people who understand the struggle, that it's more than just not knowing what to eat or not knowing what exercises to do, that understanding there's this huge psychological aspect, and there's also a physiological aspect. The more I've learned, the more I realize people who tend to put on weight, their bodies are different. We have to do different things. And so that's what led me into this profession the first time around. But what's exciting now is now I can now add to that I understand what it feels like to be a perimenopausal woman trying to pull her crap together, because that's where I've been for like the last 8 or so months. And I will never say I've arrived anywhere. I'm still always a work in progress, but I feel so much better. And I don't know how I forgot that this was possible. I think I thought like my best years were behind me and I was just going to start falling apart now. And I'm just here to tell anybody who feels the same way, that is not it. Our bodies are not meant to start just sputtering out in our 40s. We are meant for a nice long ride. You know, the average age right now, expectancy in this country is like 78, but we have the capability to live much longer than that. But it's not about the year. We're not trying to live forever, but we're trying to pack as much joy and as much life as we can into every day. And part of that is making sure your machine is operating optimally. It doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. The older you get, you're going to work around injuries. We are not going for perfection. We are doing the best we can with what we have. So if this resounds with you, I encourage you, just get up and move today. Take a walk, dance, ride your bicycle. Don't pick something you hate. Don't pick something that you loved 10 years ago, but you just can't seem to get back into it. Pick something that brings you joy right now. And think about how you feel afterwards and use that as momentum to move your body again the next day and every opportunity you get. It's not about calories burned. It's about changing yourself chemically, psychologically, hormonally. It's this big, beautiful chain effect. So just move.